Hello, my name is Biomes, and I like playing Monster Hunter.
Nabi? I think I'm fine from here.
And the guitar. Now, the original plan is to make a video covering Monster Hunter stories, but I'll be honest, even after having over 10 hours of footage of that game, my brain isn't really popping any ideas for that, which led me to go back to Freedom Unite. And yes, I've already made videos on Freedom Unite and I suggest you guys check it out. However, I won't be doing the usual smacking monster heads, and instead will be doing something in this game that I've never done before, and that is treasure hunting. Now, what is treasure hunting? Well, it is a form of content that was first introduced back in Monster Hunter Freedom 1, and it has you embark onto treasure quests to find, well, treasures, as it replaces the items you usually get like herbs, mushrooms, and more with treasures. And each of those things contain a certain amount of points. So in a way, think of it as some sort of high score. Now, what do you get after completing them? Well, other than give the masochistic sense of accomplishment and delusions of grandeur, it does absolutely nothing. It doesn't change the outcome of the gameplay or the progression or anything for that matter, except for a couple of stickers in your guild card. And yes, they do give you Pokepoints, however, there are much better ways to get them. Wait, hold on a second. You can bring a friend with you?
You don't have any.
Now, this is my first time doing treasure hunting, so there might be some things that it might add to the progression to the whole game after completing them, which is completely useless because I already made 2 videos covering pretty much every fight this game has to offer. Links below. And by no means, I mean no means, should you try to do this unless you have so much time in your hands, clearly depressed and you want to feel something, or trying to run a YouTube series. Can you guess which ones apply to me? So in order to do these treasure quests, you would have to talk to this NPC named Treasure in the Gathering Hub, where he give you a task to grab and retrieve certain items called treasures. And the more treasures you got, the more Pokepoints and guild points will be rewarded to you. And if you're lucky, you'll be getting these hidden treasures, which I happen to already have one. Okay, how did I get this one? Jokes aside, it turns out I might have gotten this treasure while showcasing these treasure quests on my live stream, which is fine because the Blangonga apple happens to be one of the easier ones to get. And in case you weren't paying attention, there are 7 rows in the treasure page, 1 quest per row, and each of them have 5 hidden treasures in them. And they usually include 2 gatherable, is that a word? 2 treasures that you can find by digging, mining, bug catching, and fishing, 1 treasure that includes finding 2 hidden specific items to combine them into, and 2 egg-like treasures. Now, do you remember how butt-clenching the egg quest experience is in Monster Hunter 1? Yep, these 2 treasures are literally that, and it could either be obtained by gathering or by slaying and carving the roaming large monsters in said area. And whether these are regular or hidden treasures you find, you are still tasked to bring it back to the camp and give them to Treasure. Each of those treasures will then give you a set amount of points, and when you want to end the quest, you'll do so by chucking a piece of paper from the blue box and put into the red box. And while it might seem a lot, it really isn't, because each of these treasure quests only gives you 20 minutes to collect everything you want. So tell me, what's the total number of hidden treasures? That's right. It goes in a square. And with that, we're going to the first treasure quest, which is in the Snowy Mountains, featuring a Geodrome. And since we already got the Blangonga apple, we're going to focus on trying to get the Poke Snowman, which is obtained by finding the Blango Blizzard balls, that wasn't easy to say, and the furry balls, and then smush them together. After that, we went to find the Poke Quartz, which is mined from the top of the mountain at Area 8, which is usually free to go for this area, but for some reason, the devs thought it would be funny to block it off for this quest. But I happen to have bombs and found that I can blast my way through it, which led me to mine for the treasure. Do keep in mind that this will be a recurring thing whenever doing treasure quests. Another thing I found out is that if you're using a hammer, like me, you can use it to break the rocks. However, knowing that I'll be needing some armor skills that can help me gather stuff better, I changed my current armor set to the leather armor set, which grants me a chance of gathering at gathering spots one extra time. But despite having this skill, it still took me over 2 hours to get the Elder Dragon Tears. Oh, excuse me, is the Elder Dragon Tears. And since it was an egg-like item, I carefully carried this damn item all the way back to the camp, and I'm thankful that there aren't any hostile sumbitch trying to get me while holding this damn item. Which led me to getting the last item, the Geodome Jewel. And just so you know, this thing took me 3 hours to get. Even while having a weapon strong enough to beat a Geodrome within 2 hits. Now, I usually don't farm the Geodromes or the other big raptors for that matter for anything, so the usual playthrough for me would have me hunt them about a few times at best. So out of curiosity, after checking my hunting logs, it turns out I've hunted over 100 of these raptors, likely from today alone.
Hey, where the f is my barbed wire spaghetti?
Here it is, boss.
Okay. Who the f make this sauce? Tastes like shit.
That would be Scar Brand, boss.
Hey, Scar Brand, you backstabbing idiot. What happened to the sauce? Sorry, boss. I'll make you a new one. But what the hell?
What's wrong, boss?
When Karn comes, tell him to not come here. Man, that was a boring war. Damn it! Dude, you better not look at what's happening. What do you mean? Oh, what the f is this? Told you. Why is there another skull through this wicked mine? I don't know. Are you not telling me something? I thought you were honest. Hey, Sinch does the lying.
I am right here.
Shut up!
And just so you know, I was desperately begging the game to drop this goddamn Geodrome Jewel for me on stream.
Please give me the jewel. I need the jewel. Please, game. Please. When you try your best, but you don't succeed.
So when I got this item and gave it to Treshy, well, since I was recording my microphone, you might as well just hear the raw audio. So after running my own patience down to the ground, I decided to craft 2 more armor sets. One that basically gives us more chances of gathering items, and one that lets us carve large monsters one more time. So tell me, which one is for gathering, and which one is for carving? I just said it, won't you listen? And no lie, seeing all these treasures lined up really does give me a sense of accomplishment. Until I realize I gotta do it 6 more times. The jungle. And when I got here, I quickly got to area 10 after hammering the big rocks and caught the first hidden treasure, the Cleopatris. However, I spent too much time just whittling around this entire area, and I timed out. And despite the fact that I already gave it to Treshy, it still did not add it to my guild card. And yes, I was holding the ticket and tried to press every button in order to end the quest, and the reason why it wouldn't let me end it is because the amount of treasures I collected did not reach 2,000. So when I realized this, I was disappointed. Of course I was. What else do you think I felt? However, I wasn't too mad due to the fact that on the next run, I was able to get 3 treasures, including the fish, the combined item, and lastly, the Cleopatris. What's also cool is the fact that the run after this also gave me the Laotian melon. Okay, first of all, how big are they? And second of all, how did she manage to drop one of them? Was it too heavy?
2,000 years later.
What's also cool is the fact that the run after this also gave me the Laotian melon. As for our roaming monster friend, the Yin Kutku, which can run at you and spit fireballs, which holds the last treasure, the Kutku Jewel, only took me about half an hour to get. And I know the page being filled with treasure stickers may look good, but please, again, I urge you to not do this. Must I remind you how it looked like? Hi, Bio. Oh, hey, it's Bio. What are you doing here? I'm here to remind you that we have a sponsor. Wait, we do? Yes, and I wrote it down for you. It says nothing. Oh, he's gone. But that's okay, because as much as I want this to be a skit, instead I'll be using this moment to thank you guys for watching the video, supporting the live streams, and becoming members on Patreon. And it's crazy that even after doing this as a passion for 14 years, my videos, looking back at the ones I made earlier this year, improved even after switching from the typical gameplay highlight style to the more in-depth long-form style content. And yes, I know that the term long-form is kind of incorrect. That's because as I make these videos, the better and more efficient I become. Because if I did this exact video a few months ago, it would probably end up being at least twice as long as opposed to this one. As for the skits and the memes, I've always imagined doing something like this in some way, shape, or form. And I really do hope you guys enjoy the silliness, as I definitely enjoy making these as well. I mean, heck, I even laugh my ass off sometimes while editing these behind the scenes. Anyways, back to the video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Hello? At ease, my friend. My name is John Arthur, and I just saved you. Not needed, as all I need is someone to talk to. About the world we live in, and the history of it. Come, walk with me.
And as much as I want to find something to whine about, this next map, the desert, which features our crabby friend that does call swipes and spray water, only had me spend less than 2 hours to get all the hidden treasures. And yes, even after having to drop the Daimyo Jewel because of this goddamn Genbray, I was able to get it back on the run after while barely avoiding this goddamn Cephalos. And even though I was getting ragdolled by a Bulldrum that does nothing but rush at you and the Kongolala that literally farts at you, this map only had me spend less than an hour getting all the treasures with little to no difficulty. However, this is the time where the game basically gives me the middle finger, because despite easily getting the Mind Guard Knight as well as the Mysterious Mask, I had to spend 2 hours fishing out for the Golden Drome. Now I don't know what is it with fishing, but fishing tends to be the one I don't like the most in Monster Hunter Gathering. It's very shiny. It should be the one. That's the one. Yes! 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 That's the grand Escunite. It took me 1.5 hours to get this one damn. And this went so badly that a chatter in my stream had to remind me to smile. Remember to smile. Despite my mouth smiling, you can see how dead my eyes were. Oh, by the way, the roaming monsters? It's Rathian and Rathalos. And just before you think that I'll be needing one jewel from either of these monsters, You're wrong, because I need 1 jewel from each monster. And the only way to get these jewels, I would have to cut the tails and carve it from them. Now, in case you're new to Monster Hunter, normally when you slay a monster, you can carve it up to 3 times. If you have a skill that allows you to carve it 1 more time, that will become 4. However, whenever you sever a body part, like the tail for example, you are only allowed to carve it 1 time. And even with the skill, you're only allowed to carve it twice, which is still 2 times less than carving the entire body. But after a couple of runs, I was able to grow Rathian's jewel. After realizing what I've done, I want to apologize to everyone on Twitch that has supported me, my Patreons, the people that I've collaborated and worked with. But to be fair, she did try to swallow. What's awesome is the fact that on the next run, I was able to get Rathalos' jewel as well. However, do I think I found your...
Like I said, our world and its history. Don't you just find the creatures of our world just fascinating? Some say that, but in reality, they are just like us. Like us, they are creatures of emotions, creatures of the living. Shh! Look at all of them running and hiding from us. Normally, you see this kind of reaction from the villagers when there are monsters coming to their homes. Just watch them tremble. I want to tell you a story about the old kingdom of Castle Shrade. You see, this castle used to hold a strong kingdom where the technology was even more advanced than ours today. This is believed to be about 1,000 years ago. Due to the civilization's hubris and curiosity, it was eventually destroyed by a vengeful being that deemed it unworthy to live. The Black Dragon Fatalis. And it is said that he still lives in Shrade to this day.
Now, both Rathian and Rathalos pretty much have the same base moves, like the rushing, the tail swipes, the headbutts, and the fireballs, but they do have their own moves as well, like Rathalos spitting fireballs whenever it flies backwards, or shooting multiple fireballs while in the air, as well as trying to scratch you from the air in order to poison you, while Rathian does backflips in order to poison you, while also shooting multiple fireballs while on the ground. And due to the fact that this green roared at me and therefore caused me to drop her husband's nutsack, I went on and spent 2 hours until I finally got it back. Now, I gotta be honest, I can't really complain much about the Volcano map even with the massive chunky gravy monster roaming around, because in under 2 hours, I was able to get everything, which includes a book that's made by a guy named John Arthur, Teos's Rocks, Gravios's Balls, and Basarios's Peach. Now Gravios just pretty much just rushes, farts, and shoots laser beams at you as well as doing the dreadful hip check, but its moves aren't really the issues, but rather the fact that you can't really do much damage unless you have a blunt weapon or a sharp weapon that at least has some white sharpness, and as long as you keep hitting the belly. Which is fine for me because I happen to have a great sword that has purple sharpness, which is higher than white sharpness. So in the end, I was able to attack the monster instead of dealing with a buffet of deflections. Now, back to the book. Who the heck is John Arthur? Well, after doing some research, it turns out that he's a hunter and a paleontologist, and pretty much identified and did a whole lot of research about the creatures of this world. So in layman's terms, a whole lot more useful than this bit. As for the last map, the Great Forest, I was able to get the fish, the bug, the combined item, and the first egg-like treasures within the first 2 runs.
There were many rumors of people preparing themselves to face Fatalis. It is said that anyone who dares to challenge this fiend never returns, or forgotten over time. But some say that those that do usually are expunged from all records. Because as we hunters usually craft armors and weapons from the monsters we slain, it is common to assume that the hunters who truly slain Fatalis will likely craft things out of him. However, my friend, it is said that whoever wears and wields Fatalis will eventually become him. Don't you realize it, my friend? We are at Castle Shrade. And now, it is time for the reveal.
Now, let's talk about our purpley rowing friend, the Yingaruga, mainly about its lore. Because while the physical may resemble Yin Kutku, it also has movesets from Rathian as well, like the poisonous backflip, as well as shooting multiple fireballs. So while it never has been confirmed, it is very likely that Garugas are crossbreed offsprings of Yin Kutkus and Rathians. This needs to stop. Stop it. And of course, the last treasure just had to— oh, it dropped the first time too. And even though I almost got flopped over by a boar, I was still able to retrieve the Garuga jewel and finally complete the treasure page. So while I could end the video right here, I won't. Because while I was able to get all the stickers to fill up the left side of the page, I still have the right side to worry about. And while it wasn't my intention, I got the silver crown on one of the maps. So how I got it is due to me reaching 30k points worth of treasures on this map. But I'm not going for damn silver crowns. I'm going for the gold crowns. And I mean, what could go wrong, right? It's all gotta be super fun, right?
And to celebrate the ceremony, we have deemed thee, Monsutā Hantā, as the sitter of the second largest skull throne. Second to mine, that is. As for Card, you have now been demoted to be the sitter of the third largest skull throne. Man, this is bullshit.
And I gotta be honest, I probably spend too much time digging, mining, bug catching, fishing, and praying that I don't get screwed over, because while there are some monsters that won't really cause you problems, these bugs and raptors just don't want to cooperate. However, I will definitely say that sometimes it's better to focus on the roaming monsters and get the treasures from them, especially if there are more than one large monster like in the Forest and Hills and the Volcano map. However, I will definitely admit that trying to get a high amount of points on the last map, the Great Forest, is very tedious, if not difficult. Now, either I just have bad luck or this specific map has a scarcity on treasures. But after spending what seems like an eternity, I finally got all the gold crowns, which also gave me an achievement for doing so. And yes, I know I'm still missing a whole lot of achievements, but let's just ignore that, okay? And with that, marks the end of the video.
Hello, Bio.
Who are you?
I'm the Great Reminder.
What do you do?
I remind people of things. And I'm here to remind you that you still have to get the other achievements.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Or else what?
You'll be forced to watch Rachel Ray cook adobo.
Okay, that's messed up.
Or
Or?
you can play Ghosts and Goblins.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And big thanks to my supporters on Twitch and Patreon, as they help me and help keep the content going. And if you want to be a part of it, then you can check out the Patreon and do so for as low as $1 a month. Links to Twitch, Patreon, Twitter, and more in the description below. And lastly, happy hunting.